welcome to Overdrive. I'm Shireen Pan. It's the end of the week and we've seen a lot of new cars being launched. We've got two of them on the show this week. So without further ado, it's over to Sirish with the new Tata Aria.
We Indians love SUVs. Maybe it's the size or the sheer brute bullying power, whatever. We love SUVs and we buy Scorpios and Safaris in really large numbers. We Indians also like to travel in large numbers. That's why MUVs and MPVs do so well. But what Tata Motors believes is that there is a growing segment of people who want both the desirability of an SUV with the practicality of an MPV. And that's why we have this, the Tata Aria, the most expensive Tata Motors product in the country today. A key factor in the Aria's appeal is going to be its styling, and I think they've ticked all the right boxes. It's got this typical Tata Motors smiley grille, but brought bang up to date. A large, wide and muscular air dam, very attractive looking headlamps, very technical, and I especially like these amber turn indicators. And because it's a 4x4, it's got a certain amount of muscle, especially these wheel arch extensions and fat 17-inch tires. This doesn't look like a boring people mover. It looks like an attractive pseudo MPV, pseudo SUV. The designers have pulled off some nice tricks to jazz up the traditional MPV profile. The rear glass area has a sort of pseudo coupe roofline like on the CR-V, and the tailgate and tail lamps are quite attractive. There are also twin exhaust pipes exiting the rear. Tata Motors have never made a cramped vehicle, and the Aria is no different. The middle seat is comfortable, it's supportive, you can do long distances comfortably in here. But what I don't understand is, why didn't they have captain seats at the rear? This is a premium vehicle and it deserves such premium features. Also, you get bottle holders in the doors, but that's it. Instead, what you get is, and this I find truly bizarre, 7 sunglasses holders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, actually 8. There's one over there on top of the driver. What are you going to store in so many storage bins? And over here, you get a small little cup holder. This is bizarre. And the seat at the back is not very comfortable. Getting in at the back is not the easiest task. You have to fold this, find a lever at the back, get the whole seat down, clamber in at the back. And then when you sit here, there is no legroom, there is no knee room, there is no headroom. This is a cramped place to be in. For children, it probably is okay, but for adults over any sort of distances, it's a complete no-no. This might sound a bit cruel, but whenever I've reviewed a Tata Motors product, the interiors have come in for a load of criticism. For instance, the panel gaps have been so wide, you could post a parcel through it and not notice. But with the Aria, you would struggle to post a postcard because everything fits very well. There are no gaping panel gaps, nothing feels out of place, and I've been trying since morning, trust me, but nothing has gone and started rattling. This is unlike any other Tata Motors interior, and I for one welcome the change. But there are a few ergonomic issues. For instance, the driving position, the steering wheel and the pedals are ever so slightly offset to the right. The first time I sat in the car I was wondering what was wrong, and once you drive the car you get used to it. But this is an issue that shouldn't have been there in the first place. Then there are these aircon vents. Now when I'm driving, these vents blow cold air straight at my palms, freezing them instantly. The option is you move it up, but the vents don't move any higher. So then you move it lower, and then it freezes your knee. So the only option is that you shut it off, and that really isn't ideal in our climes. There's another problem. The steering wheel, for instance, it's the perfect size, but when I hold it here, my palms keep touching the volume controls, which again is not ideal. Then there's this knob. The first time I sat in the car, I thought this was for the volume, but actually this is for the navigation menu. This little button here, that is for the volume. Again, not properly laid out, just small little glitches, as is the fact that for a cabin so wide, there is no dead pedal and the center console doesn't have any cup holders. Now the first time I saw the Aria, I thought it was a damn fine concept, except for one failing. it had the same 2.2-litre Dicot diesel engine from the Sumo and the Safari. And that was an engine that did not excel in any department. But now, after having driven the Aria, I do not think that's an issue anymore. Tata Motors engineers, they've worked on this engine. They've worked on its power delivery, on its refinement, and on its performance. And though it still makes 140 PS of power, which is the same as the Safari, performance is vastly improved. Turbo lag is present, and you do need to keep the engine above 15 or preferably 1800 RPM to get moving. But in such a vehicle, that is acceptable, as are the noise and refinement levels. Performance is also good. Actually, very good. 100 kilometers an hour takes 15.6 seconds, and she maxes out at a top speed of 170 kilometers an hour. And at that speed, she's rock steady and stable. Even the braking, thanks to disc brakes all around, ABS and ESP, is very good. Let down only by significant nosedive at the front. And at 12.7 kilometers to the litre, the efficiency is also quite good. Now, none of Tata's SUVs or MPVs have done well in the handling department, but with the Aria, Tata Motors engineers have turned a new leaf. Okay, I wouldn't go so far as calling it car-like in terms of handling, whereas with the Innova, we keep talking about how car-like its handling is. But when you talk about an SUV, the Aria sets a new benchmark. One thing, its ride quality is really, really good. So all bumps, mid-corner bumps, entry bumps, exit bumps, all leave the Aria unfazed. And then it has grip to spare. Because of the all-time four-wheel drive, because of the wide tires, because body roll is kept slightly in check, she grips very well around corners. And in fact, the Aria is rather nice to drive. Finally then, the most important bit, pricing. Now, Tata Motors have always been very competitive on price, offering tremendous value, but this will shock you. The fully loaded variant of the Aria costs 15.8 lakh rupees. It makes it the most expensive Tata Motors vehicle on sale today. And even the entry-level version, which also gets four-wheel drive, is 13.18 lakhs. That is a lakh and a half more than the fully loaded Innova. And to be honest, it is a lot of money for a car wearing the Tata Motors badge. Whenever we review a vehicle, we always compare and benchmark it against its key rivals. But in the Aria's case, that's proving to be kind of difficult because it has no clear direct rivals. So let's talk about its not so direct rivals. In the MPV space, we have the Xylo and the Innova. Tried, tested, thoroughly sensible and practical vehicles. But desirable? I don't think so. In the SUV space, you have the Scorpio, the Safari, even the Endeavour. Desirable, but are they completely practical? Again, not quite. And that's the niche that the Aria will fill in. It straddles both segments, practicality as well as desirability. And I know I said desirable, and I know there's a Tata badge on its nose. The Aria could just about be the first Tata Motors product to be truly desirable. And I think that's a job well done.
Well, the Tatas are hoping to export the Aria as well, but it remains to be seen just how Indian consumers will react to this MUV, or is it an SUV or the crossover as the Tatas are positioning it. We'll get you more on that on a future episode of Overdrive. But time for us to take a quick commercial break.